Good evening and warm welcome to the State of Business on Now Television. I'm Chamal Fernando. Let's have a look at the headlines. President discusses crisis recovery with local and international stakeholders. Government decides to increase value-added tax starting from next year. Now the news in detail. The second high-level roundtable discussion on crisis to recovery, chaired by President Ranil Wickremesinghe, was held in Colombo yesterday. This event follows the previous session in December 2022 and provides a forum to discuss the progress of the government's reform programs aimed at addressing key economic and structural issues. During the previous session, representatives from international financial institutions emphasized that a coordinated program is required for Sri Lanka to recover from the economic crisis. The Sri Lankan economy has shown initial signs of stabilization with moderating inflation, easing foreign exchange liquidity pressures, and some progress on debt restructuring. It was noticed that cornerstone legislation is being developed and structural reforms are being implemented to restore stability and regain access to international financial markets. The roundtable provided a candid forum between the government, the development partners, and private sector to share recommendations to sustain the growth momentum. The government also provided a clear framework to improving coordination and communications, along with detailed action plans on the implementation and delivery of the reform agenda. Secretary to the Treasury and the Ministry of Finance Mahinda Siriwardana made a presentation to outline the coordination platform around which multilateral development banks can work. Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Nandalal Weerasinghe, highlighted the progress on debt restructuring made by the Sri Lankan government. The government announced it has decided to increase the value-added tax rate up to 18% effective from the beginning of next year in order to meet the revenue targets stipulated by the IMF. Cabinet co-spokesman and Minister Bandula Gunawardena made the announcement at the post-cabinet meeting media briefing yesterday. The minister said that despite a 51% increase in tax receipts in the first 9 months, the government's revenue collection did not meet the agreed revenue expectations. He also said that the government will introduce new taxes on specific goods and services which are currently not covered by the VAT from 1st of January 2024. The cabinet co-spokesman said that the move is to meet the agreed tax revenue and primary balance targets as agreed with the IMF. The minister said that the inability to collect the stipulated revenue targets was the main reason for the delay of the second tranche. Minister Gunawardena said the government revenue increased to 1.7 trillion rupees in the first 9 months compared to last year. The minister emphasized that this amount is barely sufficient to pay public sector salaries, meet welfare payments, and other recurrent expenditures. He also noted that additional taxes are likely to be introduced in the upcoming budget, which will be presented to Parliament on 13th of November. The chairman of the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau, Chalaka Gajabahu, said that Sri Lanka tourism is confident in reaching its initial target of 1.5 million tourist arrivals by the end of this year. The chairman said this speaking at a press conference held at the Hotel Management Training School in Colombo recently.
ඔගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා ඔක්කොම දැන් දවස් කීපයකට ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපේ tourism arrivals 1.1 million achieve වුණා. අපේ මේ අවුරුද්දේ target එක තියෙන්නේ 1.5 million. හොඳ sure එකක් තියෙනවා අපිට මේ target එකට යන්න පුළුවන් කියන එක. මොකද නොවැම්බර් දෙසැම්බර් කියන්නේ අපේ high season month එක. ඉතින් තව ලක්ෂ 3,75,000 4 ලක්ෂයක් ගන්න එක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මොකද average එක බැලුවොත් අපිට දැන් off season කියලා එකක් නැහැ. අපි බැලුවොත් even මේ ජූන් ජුලයි විත් ඔගස්ට් අපි ලක්ෂ පන්නලා තියෙනවා. 1,25,000 1,50,000 වගේ මේ ටාගට්ස් තියෙන ඔක්කොම ඩීටේල්ස් තියෙනවා SLTDA වෙබ්සයිට් එකෙත්. ඒක බලන්න පුළුවන්. අපි හිතනවා අපිට නොවැම්බර් දෙසැම්බර් කියන මාස දෙකේදී ලක්ෂ 2.5 පන්නන්න පුළුවන් කියන මේකේ අපි ඉන්නේ. ඒක කිසිම මේකක් නැහැ.
Stay tuned. We will return after this commercial break. Welcome back. Speaking at the press conference, the chairman of the Sri Lanka Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management, Shirantha Peris, said that the government has been able to train a workforce of nearly 1,500 for the forthcoming winter season through a short-term hospitality training pilot program launched recently.
Supporting our President's vision and as directed by our Honourable Minister to introduce short-term hospitality training programs. It was a long process to identify 100 youth from each district. That's 25 districts, 2,500 students. But this is the pilot run. And as we speak now, there are almost 1,500 students studying, 1,496. As we talk, in 37 training centers island-wide with 54 trainers. Now, we will be able to increase the numbers as we start the Jaffna training programs coming this Saturday. So as a result of these short programs, we are able to have a workforce of over 1,500 in hospitality for the forthcoming winter season. These short-term programs will lay a fantastic foundation for the students to go into hospitality and do an internship for 12 months. Only after the 12 months that they will be eligible for the SLIDM certificate, because our brand, we value our brand, and we want people to demonstrate the level of competencies that links to the SLIDM branding. Because we do not want to give a certificate after a short training program for them to take the certificate and get on board an aircraft.
The Cabinet of Ministers has approved changing the frequency of power tariff revisions from every 6 months to every 3 months. Cabinet co-spokesman and Minister Bandula Gunawardena said this speaking to journalists yesterday. This decision comes following a joint cabinet paper submitted by President Ranil Wickremesinghe in his capacity as the Finance Minister and Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara. The minister said that the decision was made considering the inconveniences the public has to deal with due to the current biannual tariff revisions by CEB. He justified the move, noting that the 3-month revision will be more bearable financially compared to the biannual change with a large percentage of tariff difference. Under the provisions of the Sri Lanka Electricity Act, the subject minister holds authority to prepare a general policy guideline on electricity supply subject to the approval of the Cabinet of Ministers. The Cabinet has also approved a proposal to conduct a power dispatch audit of the CEB to improve the accuracy of hydroelectricity forecasting with the assistance of the Department of Meteorology. The Minister of Industry and Health said that the packaging and printing industries are closely related to increase in export revenue of the country. The minister said this speaking at the Lanka Pack and Lanka Print exhibition held at the BMICH in Colombo for 3 consecutive days. Lanka Pack 2023 and Sri Lanka Print exhibition was held as a joint exhibition under the chairmanship of Minister Ramesh Pathrana last week. More than 1,000 products and brands were presented in the joint exhibition consisting of 150 booths and exhibitors representing China, India and Taiwan. Apart from international exhibitors, some of Sri Lankan's leading packaging and printing brands were presented at this exhibition. A special packaging workshop was also conducted for Sri Lankan and foreign packers during the 3 days of the exhibition. Lanka Pack 2023 has exhibitors representing the sectors of paper, plastic, processing, packaging products and promotions. The Sri Lanka Print 2023 exhibition is being held for the 8th time, and the purpose of exhibition is to introduce the latest techniques and trends to the local printing industry. 44 local printing companies and 6 leading printing companies of India also participated in this exhibition. Stay tuned for the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on positive notes today. The all share price index gained 123.21 points to close at 10,770.54, and the S&P SL20 gained 40.10 points to close at 3,034.45. The turnover was 0.7 billion rupees and over 23 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. That's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe our channel on YouTube, follow us on Facebook. Take care and good night.